Wondering how to use the Comfier W2 breast pump? Then stick around in this video. I'm going to walk you through all the different parts that make up this Comfier breast pump, as well as how to assemble them, and of course, how to use the Comfier wearable breast pump. So let's get started and take a look at all the different parts that make up this breast pump. Now, one thing I love is that there are only 5 parts. It makes it super easy for assembly as well as cleaning. So what are these parts? First of all, you have the pump motor. Now this is what creates and drives your suction. It's also your operational panel. I will also add that the Comfier does have app integration, but for this video, I'm going to focus on using your pump with the control panel on it. If you would like a separate video on using the app, please let me know in the comments and I will do one up for you. You then have your collection cup. Now this is where all your breast milk pools during your pumping session. You have your duckbill valve. Now this helps to take your breast milk from the flange into the collection cup. You have your diaphragm, which helps to prevent milk backflow into your pump motor, making this a closed system. And then you have your flange. Now with the flange, you have a heating pad that sits in the back of it on the inside. There is also a connection point that will connect your heating pad to your pump motor. You'll also notice in your pack that you have some flange inserts. Now, before we even start talking about the pump parts, I will add, please ensure that you go and measure your nipple for your correct nipple size. I will show you how to use the flange inserts shortly, but you may or may not need to use these. It will be dependent on your nipple size. Okay, so how do these parts all go back together? First, you're going to take your duckbill valve and insert that into the opening at the bottom of your collection container on the inside. Now, I like to line up the flat with the base of my collection container. You then have your diaphragm. You'll see on here that there is an indentation that will point out towards the opening where the flange is with your nipple. That simply pushes in. Make sure that you have a nice secure fit with both of these. Really important to help prevent leaks as well as air loss, which can create your suction loss. Then we're going to take our flange. You can see on here that it has your connector point and then the opening for your pouring spout. So you're just going to want to line these up on your collection container. And then we're going to want to just lift up the flange and align it with the collection container and push in. Realign the top and then lift up the edge lip of our flange and make sure that goes over the outer rim of the collection container. Now, again, really important to make sure this has a nice secure seal. Air leaks will create a loss of suction and potentially milk spills. So once you think you have that in place, run your fingers along the outside nice and firmly. Make sure that seal is nice and secure. Then take your pump motor and that simply pushes in onto the top. Now we are ready to use our pump. If you need to use a flange insert to reduce this 24mm diameter flange, you simply take the required flange insert. This is a 21mm. Insert it into the flange. And that then reduces this flange tunnel diameter down to the 21 instead of the 24mm. I do have a separate video I will link to in how to choose your flange sizes. Okay, so the Comfier pump settings. Let's take a look. You have your power button. This is also your mode button. Up the top here, you have your heating button. You have a minus and a plus for adjusting your suction levels. Now you have two different modes on this Comfier pump. You have your stimulation, which are your short suctions for initiating your letdown, and then you have your expression mode, which are your long, deep suctions for drawing out your breast milk. So let's go ahead and turn our pump on by pressing the power button with a long pause. It will start at your previous settings. So you can hear here, this is on the expression mode with the longer drawing out. You ideally want to start on the stimulation mode, if you hear this, for initiating your letdown. I also recommend starting on a 2 to a 3 suction level setting. There are 9 different levels. You want to start on the lower end and then build it up until you find something that is comfortable as well as gives you a good output. If you're uncomfortable during your pumping session, it can impact your overall milk output. Stronger suction does not mean greatest output. So just remember that. Start low and then work your way up. Recommend starting on the stimulation for about 2 minutes and then switching over by pressing this power button, quick, short press over to your expression mode. Now, if you would like the heating on, you simply press this heat button and you will see the orange light turn on. Now you cannot adjust the heating levels on this. It is either heating on or heating off. To turn it off, you simply press the heat button. Now, really important to note, if you are trying to turn your pump off, you press down on the power button. But if you have your heating element on and you try to turn your pump off, it will not turn off. Now, this took me a little while to figure out. Make sure when you are turning your pump off, you have the heating element turned off before switching off your pump. Now, that is your settings. As I said earlier, you want to start on the stimulation, move over to the expression. Have a play around though. Not everybody just responds to the 2 minutes of stimulation, the expression mode. You might want to try 5 minutes of stimulation, 5 minutes of expression, and then have a play around and manually switch between your modes. Find a pattern that works best for you. When you first place on your pump as well, you want to lean forward slightly, align your nipple centrally, and then lift it up, secure it in a nice, firm, securing pumping bra. Run through your session. When you are done, remember that this has a seal, a suction seal against your breast. So you're going to want to lean forward to make sure you don't get any spillage and break this seal with your finger. If you just pull it off, you are going to rip your nipple with it. So break the seal, release the pump. Then you're going to want to remove your pump motor. Use the pouring spout to pour your breast milk into a storage container. You cannot store it in your pump. So you will need to put that into a separate container and then pull your pump apart and wash your pump parts. Now, you cannot use a sterilizer for this, or the dishwasher, or a microwave sterilizer. If you are going to clean these, use warm, soapy water, rinse it off, and then if you are going to sterilize, which is recommended at least once a day, the recommended is to boil these for 5 minutes in a pot. If you get any breast milk on your pump motor, then just use a dry or a damp cloth to get this off. Your pump motor does not need to be submerged in water. If you do so, you will damage it. So once you have your pump parts all clean and ready for the next time you're pumping, I highly recommend taking your charger and placing your pump on it. It is a magnetic charger, so it simply clicks into place. I do love this little stand. It makes it nice and clean. So put your pump on charge so it's ready for use. You will notice also on the pump, once you are ready to, the battery's running out, it's a green light for when you have enough battery, and it will turn red for when your battery is on the low. So that is your Comfier pump. If you have any questions, please ask and I'll do my very best to answer. Happy pumping.